Good afternoon, class. This is our final discussion post for our crisis and trauma counseling class. And with that, I decided to answer question number 2, which says, describe the 6 major sources of burnout as identified by Letter and Maslich and relate at least one of them to your experiences. So, according to Later and Maslich, 2005, the 6 major sources of burnout are: 1, workload; 2, control; 3, lack of reward; 4, absence of community; 5, lack of fairness; and 6, discordant values. And of those 6 major sources, I believe that one of the sources that I have experienced is workload. Not specifically because of it being the work being too complex, but more because of the fact that there's too much too urgently. And what I mean by that is that there's too much going on with multiple individuals in a short amount of time, and all of it is urgent. All of it is priority one. I definitely can identify with that. It could definitely lead to burnout quicker because you feel like you're pulling from you as a person so much, and because you're pulling from you, and because you're being pulled in so many different areas, your internal resources or your physical being becomes taxed over time, especially because it's so much in a short amount of time. Another source that I can identify with is control, and control is identified as issues of being micromanaged or having ineffective leaders or teams. I have experienced that, where I just feel like whoever the supervisor may be, and times where they're just consistently over you. Have you done this? Have you done that? And it's almost as if they don't have, like, they mean well, but the problem is that it indicates that they have a lack of confidence in you and what you do. And because of that particular instance, when you're repeated with that same pattern over a course of time, you tend to feel like you don't have any control over what you're doing. And because you feel like you have no control over what you're doing, even that which you can do well or that you do well, even that begins to deteriorate, because then you begin to second guess yourself. You're not sure whether you're right. You're contemplating what the supervisor is going to say, and all these different entities play in factors and can also lead to burnout. Okay, with that, the final part of question number 2 says, how can an agency be burnout proofed? I believe that one of the ways that it could be burned out proof is by having confidence in the people that you hire. I'm a firm believer, if you have confidence in the people you hire, it does more good for the person, which in turn does more good for you for as a supervisor. So an example of that would be if you hire people who are thorough in what they do and they know what they're doing, the less likely the supervisor may be confounded with issues that might come up, because the counselor would be able to have the tools that they need in order to do their job effectively, and may come to their supervisor for just hints and points, just to ensure that they're on the same path, or to obtain new clarity. It wouldn't be an overwhelming situation where the supervisor would be bombarded with multiple people in multiple circumstances, and they themselves feel the overload. Another thing that I believe could burnout proof, excuse me, an agency would be to have supervisions on a regular basis, just to kind of touch base for where your people may be, see where they are physically, see where they are emotionally. With burnout, because of the fact that it happens over a duration of time, it's always good to have a check-in system, or an open door policy, if you will, to say, if something's coming up, if something's going on, reach out to me, from a corporate higher up stance. I think with those kind of mechanisms in place, it allows your workers to feel like there is value to their life and there's value to their well-being. If you don't show a worker that you care about their well-being, then the work suffers in the long run. I am just a firm believer of that. Finally, third point that I would point out is ensuring that proper self care is being taken by your workers. And by that, that means ensuring that they're taking vacations on a regular basis. That could also mean reevaluating caseloads if you see that a person may have multiple people with multiple struggles that can be taxing to a counselor. There might be a reshifting that might need to take place. So I think that might also be possible. In the event that is not possible, it might be an instance of not giving that therapist any new people, just so that they can balance out what they're currently receiving. I think that might be another good idea in order to burn out proof and agency. So those are my thoughts for this final discussion. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the last class. Take care and have a great day.